I need to tell my story because I see a lot of young women. They look up to the slave queen, they look up to the influencers, they look up to celebrities, but they don't really know the price that comes with that. They don't really know what's happening behind the scenes. So
Fortune or fame, you must pick one or the other, though neither of them are to be what they claim. Ikotika Bob Dylan. Hello, Mazunditi. Welcome to this edition. My name is Tami Akambongo Manzana Mbongo Yisungalezungi Musoni Sumvimyama. Salamo Manzano Kumalo Mtungwa Omleche. Tanibulisa Bandu Basekai. So there was an episode that was played on a podcast that is called Podcast Hub, that is created by Donald Nkanti Meng. The episode was called Slay Queen Who Dated Two Ministers. I was not interested in the story of the two ministers because it's the story that most of the people know about this girl that dated the late Tito Mboweni, may his soul rest in peace, and also dated Minister Gwede Mantashe. And this post, it sort of like trended on social media, you understand, and people were complaining and were sharing their thoughts, you understand. And then I was interested to watch the full episode, which I did on the Podcast Hub. And I was really fascinated about a lot of things that Lerato, Habiba, Makgatho shared, especially relating to some of the things that talk about the entertainment industry general. We understand that. So in this video, we are not going to focus on the two ministers. I'm not interested about sleeping with the late Tito Mboweni. I'm not interested about her sleeping with Gwede Mantashe. We understand. I think there are a lot of things that we can learn. We understand, especially when we are talking about fortune or fame. Remember, in the industry nowadays, everyone is complaining that the industry is dominated by influencers, by slay queens. We understand that. And I still believe in South Africa, we don't have too many celebrities, because when you become a celebrity, you must be someone that you live a certain lifestyle. We understand you've got too many broke artists that you can't classify as celebrities. In this country, you do a lot of productions, but it does not showcase on the bank balance. We understand. So we've got a very few celebrities in South Africa. Yet there's this debate that slay queens, you understand, and influencers, TikTokers are taking over the industry. There's this saying that in the industry now, you understand, when you go to casting, they want to know how many followers do you have. Actors are no longer focusing on their craft, but building their profile. So this interview, Habiba, was very important because, one, she speak about where it started. And I think a lot of artists that are starting in the industry can learn a lot, especially girls and women. You understand? Because there's so many things that are happening behind the scenes. So listening to her story, where it all started, is really fascinating. And then the other industry that we don't speak much generally, it's modeling. But there's so many ugly things that are happening behind the scenes in the modeling world, you understand? And she unpacks that. And obviously, she speaks about her first heartbreak, you understand, which I found interesting. And then she goes and speaks more about her TV passion. You understand where it all started, why TV. as you know, in the country, there are a lot of people who want to break into the television industry. You understand? There are many ways. There are people who break into starting being a background artist or cameo or featured or whatever. You understand? So she goes and talk about that. And then I was also fascinated when she started to talk about she used to write articles for different newspaper, for different magazine. We understand that it shows how smart she is. And then she dwells on the various cameo roles that she has done in various productions, whether Generation, Isidingo, and other ones, you understand. I think this story can really inspire quite a lot of artists. And then she goes, which I found interesting, of wanting more. We understand that this one, I think all of us in the industry, whether you are new, you are old, you always want more. We understand that temptation, that greed of wanting more, and how much it can push you to areas that you don't want to go to. We understand it's not a secret to go to. A lot of people in the industry are slipping their way up. We understand, we know a lot of celebrities that are not talented. We understand, but they've used their body, we understand, to get where they are. It's not a secret. So it's interesting that she also speak about the life of a slave queen. We have our influencers, celebrities, meeting other people. We understand that, and everyone can go to that level, especially young girls or women in the industry, because they don't know. They meet these people, they get inspired, they think it's the easy way of getting to the industry. Yeah. And then she speaks about fame and fortune. We understand, as we said in the beginning, it's either fortune or fame. We understand. And then she speaks about her experience of Uyandithanda. Now, I remember this episode trended with this girl. We was English, lifestyle. We didn't know it's the same girl, but say kulile. And then lastly, she speaks about what happens when you realize you are on your own in the industry. Once again, I want to give credit to Podcast Hub for bringing this episode. It's very educational episode. Thanks, Donald Ngandiming. And I did not want to mess up the beautiful production that they've done. We understand. So I'm going to share about the 10 points that I was talking about. You understand? But if you want to watch the full episode, visit a podcast hub and watch. And they promise they are bringing part 2 of the thing. And I hope in part 2 she can dwell more about the industry. But ngiyanazi nina nithanda izinto too much. Ngiyazithanda izitori. Nizawufuna focus kakhulu ngezinto zoTito Mboweni noGwethe. Bayekini abatata. uTito Mboweni has passed on. Let him rest kahle in peace. Yabo singaphazamisa singathethini kakubi ngabantu abaswelekileyo. oGwethe Mantashe, Tiger or no Tiger, singena phi thina. Without wasting time, let's hope you are going to enjoy the rest of the episode. Danko, please share your thoughts. We understand on the comments section. We understand. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Danko.
Yeah, so the humiliation that comes with growing in poverty. And like kasi ganda fele bogonudu. Ke ka sela like hwanyewa. Go iwa go dimole go tlase. We tsore ke na kola di jukebox. O khona bana di thaka tsa ba zolela high and all that, and you feel like Musmo baba o ya sekolong ha ya sekolong a ona ya o ja a o sa utlwa lepila bano a o sa utlwa lepila mala ibile alla ibile o lebella kwa lekwa a o nya ke batho ba jump rolla a ha o mala mara ke tloa ke le striker from go sekolong o itse re ke skima bana ba batlang go jar ko malapeng a mashapa ke khono kwala ke na kwala ya dileta ke khono kwala mothanya ka mothana le crash for motho ka ba chacha ke khono kwala ke thomo chacha for the advice ke ba Dr. Feeling yana ke tloa vele ke le tleva ha ke mothola wa dibuka vele a ke ka mkhoba mbrendang a ke motho wa dibuka ke na le botlhale so mara go bima la kwa itse hore tshwantse hore ha se le ka hore go re sephatlo tshwantse go tla tsoma ba motlhadile tshwantse thuse hore o mongwe o ise leta hore a lokise le motho wa hae tshwantse o fasetsa motho
gore ke tloa vele ke le motho ola o ira dilo nje. That is why batho ba bangwe ba kgona go ntshiela ke pimpi, ke tloa ke kgona go tlhakantsha dilo, ke motho ola wa dipolane gore ga ke ntse ke tloa ke le strategist. Then I met, okay, ne ke le ngwanela wa gore o kere ke tsamaya batho ba kopana le rena tso mara ngwane ga go lotlo ba pila ngwane o sa zame modeling wa tatwa. So my first promoter ebile flop. The guy na nyaka ke be a model at the age of 13. A re ke tle for photo shoot and all that. God, I was almost raped that night. That day, not night. So I went there for a photo shoot and all that, and then the guy was trying to touch me. Now at the age of 13, get suddenly vision and all that. And I don't want to be part of that nonsense. But I was aware what he was trying to do because remember, because Kolombali ruta, ka sexy, ka mutas no twaras and all that. So, kairasini, obvious, kairasini. Yeah, ba gore go tla batho ba bona gore go iragalang. And then I was smart, like ke tloa ke hlanya from the young age. Ke tloa ke le that drama queen e goreng I will just expose you manje. Like plus I was looking up to like batho ba go hlanya ba tshwana le bo Brenda Fassie and all that. Ne ke khona understand am music ka bo Brenda Fassie le dilo tse ba dirang at the very young age. Ka age goreng a ka tshwanno di tlhalohanya, but ne ke le ngwana la gore ne nka botsa net worth ya di top celebrities, especially American celebrities at that time. Nenga botsore mang winne the most beautiful woman this year, the sexiest ke man this year, the new star ke man, Jennifer Lopez o tlontsha ke Beyonce. Ne ke khona lo project dilo, so ke tloa ke le strategist by nature. So ke bona gore mo ha ka zama to protect this guy, I'm going to be in danger. Re too more shoot, but there are people outside. So I have to make noise. I have to shout. I have to create drama. I even slapped that guy ka motlhaba ka scare and then ka 13 years, imagine. So ibile experience e horeng somehow in traumatized. But the trauma as I feel before ke fiti ke tlo ira my first interview le Daily Sun. I was like very young. Then I shared the story. And then the journalist heading ya teng I tlhalose hore the rape did not happen. Inore I survived rape. Rape survivor, something like that. So but without hobala or ba bang hoba ignorant, it was like ke ngwanola a surviving rape. So that was like the first horrible experience trying to break into the modeling industry. High school, I experienced my first heartbreak grade 11. There was this guy who was very popular. He broke my virginity and dumped me, bro. Imagine. So I lost my virginity. And then, yeah, grade 11. So let's use against him. So it was my first heartbreak. Then after, yeah, bahore, life goes on. After me tricky, that's when I started to like really hustle. Really try to hustle. And but I felt too good to know, man. Now I want to be on TV. Can you go to generation rhythm city linka feta fail? Like that time I felt like linka feta fail. But it was hard. It was really hard. Then I joined Zero to Hero casting agency. Eh. Ibile ke feletsa ke my second promoter ndalo mo mbari ke radineo nam promoter and nana le crash for that I didn't know Lena. But now he's a very good friend of mine. It's crazy, right? It's a very crazy industry. Then I'm feletsa Josie ka sign ke Zero to Hero casting agency, and ha ke fitla kwa hotel ra mara mo ga retsa scam. Like ticket ya kana ke le number 400 and something. But I'm famous, and at that time you are paying 550 joining fee. And then like ke tloa ke le chip ya kasi. Ke tloa ko kasi bona. Ke te feel ha ke fitla kwa bona. A ke fitla kwa ke tlhakana le Maxhosa, ke tlhakana le Makgatho, ke tlhakana le ke tlhakana le banyana ba ba pila. Kore ke tlile kwa kasi the way na ka pera ke fitla kwa ne I felt like a ka para. Like that's when I started to learn the difference between Wanyana Township le a city girl. O tlhakana le banyana ba ba nnang di-apartmenteng, banyana ba ntsha English ka dinko. Those type of vibes. I remember coming back from there, I was like, Mommy, khale ke wina body Miss Winterfeld, sala ka wina Miss Winterfeld day, Miss Mabopane, ke bile finalist Miss South Africa, Face of Pretoria. Mara ke fitla kwa, I told my mom ka re ke pila for mo high. Iseng kwa nonyiwa, like Donald kwa nonyiwa. So ha ke fitla kwa re ba bantši, ka iputsisa le gore ko kry-a bjang di-bookings re ba bantši. Then after 2 weeks ke kry-a call o nna le cameo role go ba waitress ko Isidingo. You have few lines. First few lines tshwantse ko ke isetse this lady, I don't know her real name, but naile Shirele ko Isidingo le this guy ba re ke Baka Hands. Tshwantse ke ba isetse mola mo tafoleng, tshwantse ke fihle ke bolela. At that time Baka Hands, I mean, he's a heavyweight. That girl not trend at that time, Shirele. That was my first job ko Isidingo. And tshwantse ke fitlhe mola ke bolele yo kana ke makhowa ka mo re tlhakase guys le khware le bona go TV yo. So when I got there ba mpontsha di lines, I'm shaking, and normally anxiety ya ka ke na le anxiety, I don't know, I think dilo tsa depression, anxiety ke dilo tse di leng genetic. So normally around people ke na lo ba nervous and I start sweating, and I'm, I've always been that shy girl, by the way. That's how I gave birth to this character ya Habiba, trying to kill this shy Lerato wa low self-esteem, So I had to do my thing. I had to read my lines. And then how fitla molo bona batho ba ba bonang. That time ngwanyana na actality ko generation na le teng ko Isidingo. So imagine ba o botsa hore after 3 days you have to come to Sasani Studios. Otlo shoota Isidingo. Was it Kosasani that time? Yeah, it was being filmed to Kosasani. And you don't have money. You don't have clothes. It was better. I need that diaparo tsa ya, but they never rapisa. I remember the kipa tsa teng nadina le mothalo nadile black na le mothalo mo blue. Di ketenyana. So at least never rapisa for that role. And I had to prepare, I had to have money. I wanna ya miriri. Kama o jole botho berekolo tsa bo virgin o tsabile. Ka bontlong ka mahobi ba ona sela ona dijo a ona re wena ba tlo fa chelete ya gore tshwantse ya Joburg. Even they don't believe in those things. They've never seen anyone go TV go kasi. It was not like now, mohoring you can see anyone or they can turn. That time it was rare to see someone go TV, especially Pretoria. It was only few people then they relwa ka tsela ya rona. No utlwa gore ba re that guy la acting generation di no tlhakase, but there is no proof because since ba tloa ba ya Jozi. So it was like akena somebody I'm looking up to, akena proof ya hore you can actually make it from Uganda to Bogonud. The celebrity telling the celebrity no. That time na mabina go di tavening, na just na role model. So I first time ba founela family ya ko Joburg. A re itsane ke family tsela tsa go khomantshana. Yo ha ke fitla kwa ke magogo ke mmeola ke bana ba baithu ba bashimane bana le camera tsa bona everything. A bila zange ba re maybe ba bashimane ba share ka mora nna ke tla robala ko ile. No, ba alletse ko dining room. And that time my mom ore ke relocated at that side because I was supposed to shoot 2 times a week ko Isidingo. So ke tla contribute ha ke hola. So bang alla ko dining room, they don't trust me because bona ba tswa ka bo 4-5 ya matsa. Tshwantse ke tswa ka 4 to 5 ya matsa. Ko ema ko Carlton Center. Ne re tloa ko Carlton Center ba botlhe re ya Sasani ka transport one. Tshwantse go ema ko hara toropo ya Joburg ka matsa. Ke sa itse motho, ke sa tloela toropo, ke sa itse silo. West part o tloa o sa ja, at least wa itse ro ja ko production. Ha o boa ba tshotse ba rile everything ba o shetse magogo. There was a time sala ba mpha le dijo tse dintsa o bona like it was a very bad experience. And then I'm only a child. Ke tlo ba betha is braka na. Why tshwantse ke tswe ka 5? Why tshwantse? So it was a very bad experience. I don't want to lie. It was a very, very bad experience. And it got to a point whereby go na le matsatsi a sala ka robala ko di-toilet tsa ko MTN rank. Go na le di-toilet. No na le point gore ne ke tseya beke ke robala ko di-toilet. I think for ma 2 days. Until ke tlhalosetsa ngwanyana o mongwe ba re ke Thande ka Mqilisi. She was famous. She passed on last year. Ke mo tlhalosetsa the situation. Ampa accommodation gore ke tlo nna lena le motho hae. Ka tloga kwa ke feel I'm not welcome. So ka ipotsa gore ke ira 2 last shoots and I'm going back home. So that 2 days ka robala ko park station. Ka tlhalosetsa Thande ka Mdeliswa. Ang offera a place to stay. Moving forward, ka khono shoota di scene tseo, they were very, yeah, it was very scary, but then day 2 day 3 ke thomile ba comfortable. But there was also a language barrier, because most of the time that side they were speaking Zulu, and then they don't really like to compromise or babele wena Setswana or English. You find someone with a degree or diploma, they will speak their language Mazulu, they will speak Zulu. So there was a language barrier, and then at that age then I was not comfortable to speak English. That time.
Which age was this?
I think that time it was around, because remember ko primary I was promoted 3 times. I've always been smart. I was promoted 3 times. So matric ko pasa ka 16. So let's say I was around 17 to 18. Yeah, that time. So next salongwana, that is why there was no way nka ba betha is braka or anything. So imagine ka age e o tshwantse o robala ko strateng. So it was a very painful experience. And after that, shooting isidingo, staying late. Thandeka was older. Maybe she was maybe on her late 20s that time. So yeah, ke life. Motho is trying to make moves on me. Mogela wa jumper. Mogela obvious ka senyo go lose a relationship ha o tswa ko wena. That's when I started to experience that thing, or beauty is a curse and a blessing. Because sometimes o kra hore ngwanyana o rata dichumi di o rata, but then when ho fitla o tlo chama batho ba rena. It was such a bad experience. So then I had to move. Potsa rona le this guy ba re ke ntla ko Tembisa. A ka o thusa. That time ke feditse di scene tsa isidingo. I got my second gig go SABC 1 Generation. We are supposed to play, there was this guy, I forgot his name. Lengwa yono mong no famous. So we had to play Banyana Baba. It was part of the human trafficking and all that. So we were like kidnapped and all that. So senior thing it let's boma big ko TV. But I never shooted about 2 weeks. So I get my second gig go Generation. And then Thandeka sampatla ko apartment thing high. I can only help you actually the few outfits in Wayana, but you can't stay here. It's a small space. See, I'm with my daughter, my man, whatever. But I could see what is the problem. Oitsi halentse monna wa teng a le letolo go agree le wena too much o irang motho khona bona. By that time ne ke se me to understand that fully, but I could see gore go irahalang. And then banna ke ditlela motho o notela le tlhosa bonne motho hae wa bona. And at that time wena o nyaka thuso bro. O nyaka thuso ebile ona nako ya gore o ka nyaka le uthubela motho o nyaka thuso. Ke old couple ba o phutha wa tshwantse ba betray. And nna ke patela ka tlhatswa di biana ka o koloma ka apartment ka o re ke sale le ngwana tsatsi le Thandeka shootang nna ke sa shoot dilo tse byalo. So you work, there is nothing for free in life. I've learned from there. Every time somebody at like opportunity, I want to know what's the cash. I want to mahal. So it was that I'm potaka this guy barkentlatla o owner City Productions. Ntla ya le yana nana le di connections at TV and all that. Ntla maraga magala motho tsa mero nna Tembisa. You move from Benun town to Tembisa, and then tshwantse ke feletse di scene tsa Generations. Thandeka mpe 500 a re ba re room ke 500. I did not care ke tla robala ka dibeke tseo ke ya Tembisa. Ha ke fitla Tembisa mo guy o thomonya go mpotsa ka ditaba tsa hae le ngwanyana hae dilo tse ntse jona ke dilo a ke mo ba itse wena o boditse Thande ka gore mo gona le room nkisa go dintlonyana tse ithu wena ke itse Thembisa di room di tletse no re lula le motho aka mara you can stay here master ne wa ka wara yo bro kana hastrola le nna kwa yena o go ditlhalwanyong tsa o xhoma go kasi ene o nna le ngwanyana strata ngwanyana ba phone re motho o tshwere chipi o go kae ke tshwere di bag ke nyagala le room wena o sa strola le nna Thembisa ela ibile tlhakatlhakano ya dintwa tse ding gore tse ke sa di emelang aga happy mputsiseng gore ke nyakane le room ko ka tsenye ke sa itseng gore tsama ha o ka tswa so ya kae o tlo kra ko kae maybe ka mo di room di teng ngwanyana a tlile a irile rao ntlantlana ko hasadi a botle ba bo fedile ngwanyana ha le mo wa motshaba guys nna ke tlhapitori ke tlile ka dipana so obvious wa le ngwanyana na le o mongwe o tlo nyako impressa gore a o thusonya ka room and all that ka like ka kra room ba to ka re ke krele ka bo 9 ya boshiu le master teng ka le ruti a san trust ke bolela language different ke tlhakhole ke sa le ngwana go irahala then I got a room then ya ba gore di shoots and then le hona it's not easy Thembisa to jobe go tshwantse o shoot o tshwantse phone le hae le bona kana ka bana chelete like it was just a disaster. I don't want to lie, it was just a disaster, but then I managed to like attend my second shoot year generation and I came back to Pretoria. From there, that's when I started to realize, I'm good. I started to write my own articles. I write articles, give a journalist everything if late. They just edit, take pictures and publish. Everything I get kwalang, it was being published. Even but ba connection. Like daily Sunday world saw it. It was me. Then katomore ka khona ba re ke khona lo te promote. Then ya ba re ke attend the photo shoot. Hore ke thoma tsena ko tsa Ferguson Films bo the river embar ke di cameo roles abadla le batho bale they recycle the same faces. They will never hire you with no experience and all that. So yeah, it was like a crazy journey and then from there I feel alright. I want more. I tried the magazine, but the magazine I only got 2 articles. But I always felt I want more. There was a time I met this lady, Bariki Tenyoko Matusa. He me introduced Mishimana Mwa Facebook or Kona. Shona Long Yonga to Bariki Tenyoko Matusa. Yergo Fidi numbers I. Nelbanyana Baba Tolaba Duck. The professionals. And then when you got to the Ferrari and everything and all that. Como Holoban. Wanyanola I get like a bona okatla go rubana kinale media coverage long before the link and all that, no dominated too much print, but wa bona wa moromela ke ntola ro scanner di lo ira wa mo sendela ka gre wanyanola mpotsero it's na problem ka ke hore ke famous ko Turkey and then media coverage wa South Africa on cover but ka bo a ke tsena re ka bo 2009 na trenda mo hae a mpontsha di articles tsa hae le yena so ke nana rena lwana re ka kopantsha di tlhogo re ka ya somewhere ke meet Tenyoko Matusa hey Tenyoko Matusa tsama di take di Dubai lona Tenyoko Matusa o tsama ka Ferrari o tswile ka senator wa me o ntsha English ka dinko all the way from Limpopo o tshwere le khoa le tswang Germany le mo ahetse 14 room ko ka se bapalla le go fa two clip ma jita teng monna digenta wa phela ke mo ke thoma ngwitse o rona dilo tse ba reng ke di slay queen digenta wa phela and obvious how mita motho ka se botse story se zo tlo hey dintsha. So from there, but nna ke ngwana wa nyaka go phomella that time ibile next sana le tsa slay queen in Kenya ko modla ke nyako act mara ke nyaka challenge gore e tla bang I'm hungry, I'm angry, I did not care. I ke nyoko bolela maka. And then I know gore batho ba bantši ba khone relate gore bro, ke tshwere ke tlala. Ke nyoko ba shapo mo bophelong. O ro isa feasibility, o ro isa motse wa mang, o ro irang. Ke itlale plani re be sharp. It was that point mo lifeng e horeng o lapila ona tse tsotla ona diaparo ha o tshwantse o ire meriri ke hasele ha o ro lebelletse kokasi lo ka re o zola kokasi gore ke di bari ke ntolo ya hore ba ya di taverneng ba tseya ka di tutlipa ba bang mahala and then when you want more wa feel ora nna monga se go itse rena kokasi ke jwetsa ha two fela after the guy ambrekile tsembo virgin ka tlala pele ga re chomi ya hae chomi ya catch di feelings chomi ya ba hore re on and off of vele for the next 3 years inch re on and off mara ke di hook up nako nna next size ke di hook up gape immediately motho le sa phele ba botle le sa founelane ile di budi call le tlhakana fela from Davos it means hore ke di hook up so it has di hook up mara tse di sa pateleng bo ngwana o khatla gore motho ke chama so it was that point but then I want more out of life bona kana setse ke sore title tsa bo miss ibile ha ke tsamana ba mpitsa miss Winterfeld miss Mabobane and all that o tshwerile tsa tsona kana letso o sharp o tladitse batho ba bone go generation ba bone go Rhythm City ba bone go the river o ntlalaganya ba bone go di pageanteng mapanta and all that oh bone mara popularity ya hola zaka dololo poverty ash itletse ka bontši motho ashu o tsama ka Ferrari first time ba nkisa spare a sanke ka joko spare a ke itse le gore ke odeng ke re ke ja seo se jang o tlile le lekgowa skhowa ka masetso o itse re ke di government school man I had to in order for me to improve my English and be able to communicate ke after ke rile bo di performing arts ke rile performing arts ko Otambo drama school there was this school ka Francis Barate they teach you English like o grammar China my English you go and pay why every Saturday you start to improve your English so it was not easy so grade 12 for last school sa government do be lokho so it was that type of vibe so ke mita tenyo go bile first time vele bang ke se spesa crossing ke buile kasi jobe ke hubi ke buile kasi a tenyo ka mpontshe tenyo ko ha ke mo mita no man tenyo ko ha ke mo mita ne ke setse ke signile ke Fame and Fortune there was this company ba re ke Fame and Fortune SA e owner ke Roland Reka wa lekhowa na data chomi ya ko mo ba re ke Britney Suping. So I stayed to the bees. That's when I started to learn ka life ya disababu. That's when I started to learn ka I think Britney can rutile fucking knife the healy how to behave. Do you think the buffet like that type of life e hore nko kasi a repeat. Then ke nna ko makhoeng o nna le a multi-millionaire and then ba re promoter really to liberate ko Fame and Fortune but it's talent ke talent ne ngwana la go ba diding o thomo shine o thomo stand out e thomo khosa mathata between na le Britney and then ke ba threat relationship a high Britney Roland ke le Germany o rata blacks and then I'm here page ya bona na ile popular na re phela re trenda every week bano ke mo go tsana social media ke mo bang introducing straight ko social media ba re rela di professional pages ba re promote ka mara page ya Fame and Fortune at that time nana le bo ma 100,000 followers re phela re trenda le Britney was like then even at that time we were o zamre brenda like Kanimbao a re botsa ka di scandals a re botsa ka bana bad girl image sells. That's when ke thomo tlohela this church girl cause remember I'm coming from a background to Islam Muslim why because my father is Muslim like I'm Muslim by blood so growing up I also tried to embrace that side of my father's side so dilo tse ding ne ke se comfortable ka tsona then ke thomo itse ka dilo tse ntshisa media ko Fame and Fortune re thomo go posta ka dilo tse sexy like dilonyana tse bjalo. So after Fame and Fortune ke tswile because of bajara ba bantshi na gona le drama go lwa gore go promotiwa Britney thata because o nna le boss but ha bangala go setse nna ke tswile because of I can because I'm still in contact with them. But yeah, Nali Britney, we started having the differences because now I was part of the family. No rule and like family. I can call and say, hey bro, I'm broke. I can say look little Romela. So now like half year the busy. Like he's very, very rich, that guy. So ha ke tswa ko family ne ke lo le bo Britney ke krateng ko mathusa. So ke tloa from Hartbees to staying in Sandton. And then ke ngwana ko Sgandafo wa ko Badidini. So when I'm there, I always send my mom money. Ke tloa from Kasi to Hartbees. I mean, ke tloa from Hartbees to Sandton. Then you go belong kirela room. You are welcome here anytime. Hey, the breakfast go play against the tops. The dinner go play against the tops. It was that life, Inji. It was that life. I don't want to lie. It was that life. But then Kimagata Gore, I'm with this chick. Ke ex ya Tyrese wa ko America. The photos are there. Ke ex ya Vin Diesel. Everything is there. Ona le ngwana le pare ke mang Bedford, this top model le go music video wa Tony Braxton wa ka scooter. And then on le makhuwa o dese biang. How do you get these people? Because khalokia lena ko mi molongo sante makhuwa ba ka se yemisi ba khopela di phone number. Something doesn't balance. Le khuwa ko molong, just like black people, ha o botsa re mokhatlile a khopela di number, they don't operate like that. O yele na tlapong, it's not easy. So where do you get these people? What is going on? Motho tlo fa story sorry yana o like yana this yana that wara. So constantly flying abroad and then bakononshia kwa. So ibile like because but wakono tsama 6 months ba shile ka marantlo ya Sandton. Ibile like I have my own apartment man. But bobare I can't really have it. I don't understand these things. Ke sa tshwere mentality wa hore life is easy, maybe. You just have to work hard. There is a part of working smart. So I will never sleep my way to the top. Like I remember I lost party ya Masbotsana ya ko Muvhango because of I was supposed to sign a contract ko hoteleng. And then nakitla emakhaya and then nakipotsa star. And then nakipotsa hore you don't speak the same language e batho ba bolelang go industry. You want to do everything by the book. And I know there are so many girls out there who are like that, I couldn't understand. No, here is the rule. Come to the hotel and sign it. And I'm like, Mang, nah, I'll make it go. Now we'll make it. You don't speak the same language. So, industry because they don't take me along because I'm too ghetto and then I get fast this life thing, which other parts can regret. The opportunities that you can regret. I don't want to lie. When the opportunities that you have to do what you have to do in order to succeed. But then, yeah, there are things that I couldn't do because that time I thought life is easy. You just audition, you sign, you get the part. You just take pictures, you trend, you get the job. Okay, hey, now, kana feminine fashion name profile ya social media now. My social media how check is perfect. They cover photo, profile, everything they post there is tops. I'm hot. Kitomo message ya celebrity. My first famous celebrity boyfriend was Uyandithanda. Ili presenta yako nyanyan. Hey, girl. Yeah, bona ne. Mogai ankisedi sama awatseng. Mogai ankisedi sama awatseng as a date. And somebody ke mana every day ko SABC one nyanyan. Ankisedi sama awatseng ke kwa ke bone bo Nontlethema, Gigi mang Gigi. Kana ke Gigi mang ngwanyana le. Wow. La me. Na bang interview le na go red carpet and re-interview ke Nontlethema. Eveka meet this guy ba re ke spa hona mo. So it was like ke go VIP. Ke tsama le celebrity. Le nna ka te feel ke tsere makota go hae le girlfriend ta hae ka batsentsa ka mara VIP. Kore and how le ka mola they think hore you can't be here if you don't belong here. They treat you like one of them. It was like that type of vibe. But then knowing me, I just felt moto. I think the abandonment issues sahori my father left my mom. So ke sa trust ban. So ke zamo ba clever ke use mo before use an. Nna ke thabetsa re ke fitlhile di sama awatse. re mo docha le my sister-in-law le wa kwa hae ne ha ke fetsa ke thabela re ke tsile ko ke ilela di awards ebile ke na le proof, you know, and all that, and I post, and then the next thing we're on the newspapers, ralwa ko di newspapering, hey ke foneliwa like celebrity ba nyaka comment bona ka ba botsa, hey fine ke na le ke data le yanda potana. The next thing ka theka ke banyana in a club ko Taboo was very popular that time. Ke atheka ke banyana for this soccer player nna bila ke ba itse ayanda Xaba and George Lubis, you know, but tladitse tafole and all that, and then ka theka ke banyana for bona, and then these guys are crazy about me, bro. Bona from presenter to the soccer player di tladitse tafola, yeah, musikena le matla. And then the next thing I'm chatting with someone like DJ Kofi, and I'm like, Mara, the ego was too high. I don't know, like my ego was too high. Imagine saying no to Black Kofi Tlhabetse. Can you believe what I said no to Black Kofi? Hey, Mudim. Fine, moving forward, maybe I knew what I was aiming for. After ke feditse shoota Uyandithanda le Kagiso wa ko Rankuwa ke mola e trendang batho ba nkitseng ka nna ke re Kagiso, you can't afford my lifestyle, o itse re ne go tlo batla tetombowini Kagiso nkisa show ngwana. But by that time ke na le experience, ke shootile SABC 1 Big Up, ke shootile Shifty, ke shootile Chat Room, ke tla ko bo di generation, ke shootile, I've done many shows, man. I've done many shows. Like, you shoot a Please Step In and all that. Like, you shoot the reality show, the talk, the interviews about SABC and all that. And then the reality show, Mara, it was two. It was Please Step In le Uyandithanda na. But the Camco industry isn't easy. Maybe you shoot the show 10, ya 11, ya Uyandithanda na kona na batho man recognize the trend. Tse di mara nentsi go bontsha gore di-views ka di kodimo, content ka good, ba di dlala too much. Le ka jeno ba sa kgona dlala show ya ka ya 10 years back. So that's the reason why somebody batho ba meet us sometimes in public, they will like, you've changed. And I'm like, Joe, I was young. It was 10 years back. SABC 1 is I dlala le no. So le ko SABC 1 ke gonna get a connection because of kidi researcher. O ntsantsha ko show o ntsantsha ko show ke Chat Room, ke Big Up, ke Chat Room. Kore di tloa di namelana. When God says yes, nobody can say no. Di tloa di namelana. Sharp. After that, I had to learn how to do things happen on my own, because the Lord the bless and all that, they're not that glamorous, especially if you are not this high-paid prostitutes. Say ke tla bolelang ka bona ka tsona on the next content, especially if you are not them. Remember now, I'm just an ordinary kasi girl. Or a konneng who meet rich guys, including the guy on land gets into 2.5 million wako Amanda Seheka 2022. So I'm just an ordinary girl. I will magnet, they are rich guys. I'm not, that is why I'm a beauty queen, I'm not a slave queen. Slave queen is another story, another content for another day. So moving forward, ke push it, man, can I experience ya TV, setse ke rile 2 short films, ha ke fetsa ke berekile ke thoma setse ke genile experience ya being a content producer and researcher. My first job was ke rile 13 episode ya Yimlo ya Dinorana ka Mzansi Magic, ka ira abo baba, ka ira I'm With Your Ex, ka ira Unyamalele, ka ira face to face visa. So ke mo ke bona gore mara ke na le skill, no matter how much media o nyaka go mpontre ka tsela ya bona, but I have a skill. Ke shootile dilo tse, no ke khona ba irela content gore ba shoote dilo tse, and then ke khona hasela, ke khona reka skiro ko airline cash, ke khona reka Mini Cooper cash, ke khona reka ke Picanto cash. I have 2 houses. Ka feel gore I have a skill, mara I don't want to lie, life on top of that is something on and off. It's something kind of hard, because you have to worry about your next invoice. You have to worry about your next hustle. So it's as much as go ba motho ka di camera o hasela go le glamorous, gona le point o ka feelang gore o ka quita o bereka ko McDonald's ko KFC ko sekolong, the way batho ba isa di-CV ko dikolong, you will feel like that because of sometimes o nna 6 months o sena di-invoice tse di tsenang. So ke mo goreng sometimes o kry-a gore a guy a tshwereng zaka a lemo ga o nne ro ka se be tempted. Le ke tlo nna le this guy o ka Amanda Second reketseng intlo ka 2022 nna ne ke re ke tswile ko tabeng tsa di-bless mara pressure go ba mosadi le monna at the same time o ikirela dilo is not easy. But hona le message o ke nyako go botsang youth gore itse ro zolelang a bona nna I've been criticized a lot o ka se mpotse ka Brazilian hele ta irela ka ke bokae samente ke bokae o ska ka ra nyako zolela di Louis Vuitton di likes tsa social media. There've been a point whereby social media ya ka ya leka, but in real life I'm dominating. There are so many people ba horeng o posta no kra 1k mara cheka balance ya hae cheka koloi ana le nyona o mong bila ana le koloi. So like you have to hustle for something se se tlo phidisang o ye sekolong o kry di license koloi ha we kry-a o sa ikry-ela for social media o ikry-ela gore khono isa mabakeng o khono attenda dilo tse di nna zanka nna le peer pressure azange ba re ponytail or the Spice Girls azange ba ra di chila azange ba ra Carvel azange ka feel pressure ya di Louis Vuitton le di Gucci because there are so many influencers so tsena ko garageng a tseya photo ka GTI ka Range Rover asnang yona mohong ba di advertise. So wena o ngwana monyane o ko hae o nyoko dropa out ko sekolong o nyoko jola le batho ba baholo because o nyoko tshwana le same buju o nyoko tshwana le mamang a butse batho ba ba ke di prostitutes ba bangwe ba tlha di brotheleng ba bang ba tlha di kae you don't know about that. If o na le lucky o tlo kry-a le para or mapara na leng tšhelete o tlo ba kry-a but mapara na leng tšhelete le bona is all about being at the right place at the right time, whether it's social media, whether ke club o tsamang ka yona, whether ke restaurant e tsamang le yona o ka se fitlhiwa ya ko diphapong tsa kwa hae o tlo kry-a magodzumela mo hae obvious ba tlwaetseng gore hae wena wa tshwanetse re o fe 10,000 e le gore mang re kgone mo fa 2 clip re tsamaile. So it's about how you sell yourself, it's about how you value yourself. Go na le motho mang a ka ntobello ra wa digente wa tshwanetse value ha ibe ko tlase biana o phala ke mang wa ko Makgatho da ikante bile o yelo thata da ikante bile o pakela dilo tsa di bereketsa but how you value yourself o ka paka mara wa kra gore a una ngondo ka ba slender se sipila mara wa kra gore a una ngondo do rekisa cheap. So ke ka mkho batlo tseyang thokolo ya mathomo ke sekolo a ona motho a tlo patellang motho a senang tlhaloganyo mavuso a 10,000 re no opela re mavuso a 10,000 re no ira content re mavuso a 10,000 mara mavuso a 10,000 a tsamaya le education hao a tsamaya le diluku tsa hao a tsamaya le everything. Nahana hore hekele so there was a point in a bank criticize as a country somebody said ngwanyana hore o smart a khona go dribilisa di minister. You have to ask yourself for gore o nne fatshe so o bolela le president or le Titomboweni. How is my mindset? I'm not crazy. You have to understand that this girl, she's smart. So like I'm not only beautiful but I've got brains. No matter how much the media they try to paint me in a negative way because they want to sell content. But yeah, that's Habiba Makgatho, and then like Jenny Yaka is just beginning. I've done a lot of things. I'm looking forward to do more, and yeah, that issue until my dying day, it's get rich or die trying. It's like it's not going to stop, whether behind the scene, on screen, on set, whatever. But ke Jenny ela yo te potsa hore ke sa tlo pusha it's not like it's not an era, it's a lifetime thing. So because it goes le brain le calling le royal blood and all that. And what I love about my brand or myself is the fact that I'm selling reality. You know, I'm selling reality. I can never go garaging ka shoota ka koloi ke sna yona or ka ruta batho. I'm selling reality, guys. Ha re rekeng ditena o ke tsa mkhukhu o kre lenase o kre matric I'm selling reality. A ke ngwanyana a re ngwenye go tshwana le nna a shiane le di Louis Vuitton di Brazilian hair o kre Louis Vuitton ga mara taxi. Get the car e tlo irang gore o fihle from A to B ro ira dilo tsa hao. Get that matric, get that learners, get that degree, get whatever that you need to get. And lo kre le para lo tshwere sharp tloela tsa o nyako go yo tlatsa batho ba re keng di-short left o tlise megwanti mo pele hao bo mo dodola wa sala mola tikirele wena e nyaka go tola o ka se be young forever o ka se be sexy forever o ka se be relevant forever ke message yo nna ke na leng ona for today's content ke yena Queen of Pitori Habiba Makgatho go shotang guys.
Life of an artist, bacho xa spices, glorifying drugs as a stage fright cure. You can try this just when you're about to grab your chance of staging. Excitement, you can't think out this industry, or should I say this killer dream, cause you will swear that from the start it was designed to kill artists. Bangakulela when days are bright, as a human being on Instagram, too much pressure, unrealistic expectations. Whoever said that is the perfect is with us, wethembekile, singiza wethembekile, remedies within us, ezikwemba sibhebhekile.